Hey guys, new soap today, brand new. Haven't used it before, haven't used this brand before, kind of. Haven't used the Seaforth brand before, but I have used the maker of the Seaforth, um, Spearhead. Spearhead has bought the rights to the Seaforth name and has brought back Spiced and Heather, and a month ago maybe put those out. And I just discovered that the package that I ordered got to my place and by somebody else was put in a place I didn't know about. And so I've had it, but I didn't know I had it. So I'm excited to use it today. I know that Spearhead is an excellent performing base, and so that part is without question. But we're going to discover if we like the scent or not. Let's jump into our Nacet again. I was just wondering about what blade I should use and what razor. I needed to decide quickly today. And so I just grabbed my Fat Boy. This is my Rhodium plated in black Rhodium and normal Rhodium. A cool little replate job that I bought as my only and first kind of custom replate job. I didn't have it done myself, but I bought it from somebody who did. And I really think it's pretty, so I'm glad to have it. And then the Taj handle, again, today was kind of a grab and go kind of shave in terms of determining my equipment. And so I know I want to put forth a lot of good uses on this brush. The boar brush from Semogue. This is the Semogue Owners Club boar brush. And so and this has the Taj handle. And let me show you the blade. So I think we're at 36 uses today, and there's the little dots on it to show you that it's the same one. We're going to put it in, and then authoritative people say it doesn't matter if you adjust with these vintage Gillettes, if you adjust the ring with it fully tightened down or not, but something in me makes me want to not do that. And so I am going to tweak it up to about a, let's just start with a 9. Why not? Because this is an old blade. I never shave at a 9. I pretty much never even shave at a 5 or a 6 because I treasure comfort. And but with this older blade that's smoothed out, 9 is 7 to 9 I think is where I need to be with this razor. All right, so the blade is in place, and let me show you the counting card. Yep, 336, 300, 310, 320, 330, and 05 is the current count. So we're going to tack one onto that. Now, the Seaforth soap was kind enough to put so many of the notes in it on the lid: mandarin, aldehydes, carnation, anise, cinnamon, clove, cardamom, benzoin, tonka, and vanilla. Some of those I may be pronouncing incorrectly. Now, dry smelling it from the tub. It's a fairly firm soap. I was able to push down and move it a little bit, but it's definitely not a really soft base. Some brownness to it. My initial impression, I really like it. Spicy, yes. Kind of smooth and spicy, warm and spicy, savory, warm and savory. You know, those are the words that are coming into my brain. I think I can smell maybe the mandarin, but it's not strong. Same with the aldehydes. Dr. Strangelove or Strangelove from Dr. John's is a scent with a lot of aldehydes, a soap with a lot of aldehydes to it, and I really enjoy that part about it. And so I think I can pick up some of that here. I don't get a lot of the carnation. I definitely get the cinnamon because that's an easy one to pick out, right? The clove made me afraid. I went ahead and ordered this without thinking about it too much, and then I went back and read somebody else's review, that sort of thing, and they mentioned the clove, and I thought, oh no, I don't like clove. But from this dry puck scent right here, I'm not having a problem with it at all. So it must be slightly reduced. I do like cardamom. I don't know how it smells though. There's a couple of scents that I know I like that have cardamom in it, and so I assume that I like cardamom. Fortunately, the tonka is not too strong. It is something that occurs in so many soaps that I kind of feel like it's played out, or at least my nose just blah. It's not enjoyable. It's not interesting to me. unless it has a bunch of stuff playing around with it, and that does seem to be the case here. And vanilla. Oh, nice. A touch of vanilla, but not too much. Again, vanilla is another one that is one I don't like when it's really dominant. I like it. It's different. I do smell some resemblances to other soaps, but it doesn't smell to me like anything that I have had before, and I like that, and it smells good and interesting. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope the scent strength is strong enough during the shave. And oh man, you know what? I should have brought my Seaforth mug. I have a puck of Williams in my vintage Seaforth mug. It has that logo of the piper, or does he actually carrying bagpipes? No, he's not. He's just having a cape and the kilt and the high socks and that sort of thing. He doesn't have a bagpipe. So the Seaforth is a really cool vintage mug that I enjoy. All right, so right before we start loading, let me get my face wet. 24-hour growth today. And with the Seaforth soap base, I tried I think it was 20.1 or somewhere around that number, and I believe that's what he went with the base of his kind of production line. And it's just a terrific soap base. I don't think I need to alter my loading too much. I've shaken out much of the water out of this brush. Let's just do a standard 30-second load is my kind of my standard. Since this is a brand new puck that hasn't been lathered, why don't we go ahead and do that? If we end up with more passes, so be it. All right, so 30 seconds, and oh, we can start at the 45 mark right now. What I like about the Owner's Club here is that it has a big splay. It's got nice soft tips, and it's got good density. Some of the other Semogues are kind of light on the density department, and it gives you a nice feel. Nice, easy flow through the lather. You know, you don't have to worry too much about lathering and having it get all hogging and things like that. Okay, so there's 30 seconds. And you can tell the brush was kind of wet because I ended up with a lot of excess here. A lot of frothy stuff. And so we can, as you shave, you can kind of gauge that froth. You can look at it and say, well, I loaded for 30 seconds and I got that froth. And then look at how many passes you got. Kind of a pre-wash here. Disturb some of the oils on my face. And then if you didn't end up with quite enough soap to do the job, then maybe shake out a little bit more water next time so it's not quite as frothy. It could be a solution for you. Spearheadshaving.com is the URL as I'm reading the side of the puck here. Yeah, 20.1 soap base ingredients. So that's nice. He included that information. It is a 4-ounce tub. Here's some descriptive text. Seaforth first rose to fame in the 1940s. In America, our products reimagine the scent and spirit of this classic wet shaving brand. Made by hand in small batches, Spearhead Shaving Company, Miamisburg, Ohio. And there we go, and there's their logo with the head of the spear. Getting a little bit of scent. It definitely reminds me of Old Spice. There are some similarities there. I just wore Old Spice as a cologne a couple days ago, so that's good. Kind of prepped my brain for that comparison. And all right, I think let's start building up this lather. Yeah, we're going. Oh, let me tilt you down for the lather cam. Lather view. Don't have as much time as I usually do to shave today. I'm going to pivot the soap tub so I can read off any relevant ingredients. The first one's stearic acid, then water. We've got beef tallow, glycerin, castor oil, then the fragrance. Let's see, some kind of butter that starts with an M. It's hard to read that little muru butter. Could be messing that one up. Lanolin, jojoba oil, if I'm pronouncing that right. Shea butter, agave tequila leaf extract is the last ingredient. How about that? Well, it's coming together very nice as a early lather. I am happy about the scent strength. It is all up around me. It probably is not too intense for me. Really glad about that. I got the heather scent as well, and its strength off the tub was definitely not like this soap, and so I hope it does deliver in terms of kind of the presence around me, the environment. I like to have a scent that is part of my shaving experience instead of have something be unscented or just a hint of something. So not a whole lot of ingredients that were complex, hard to pronounce, kind of synthetic looking, chemically type ones. Maybe that was one of his priorities. I didn't read every ingredient, but there weren't too many others that I didn't read. So I went ahead and put 2 teaspoons of water in the mix here. I'll go ahead and put another one. So it's a total of 3. I am using my Fat Boy today, and if you watched yesterday's shave, then you know that I told you I was going to compare the Game Changer. And I'm sorry, I found the Game Changer head, and then I grabbed it to take it on a trip, and as a head by itself, it's a little small, meaning the base plate, not the top cap as well. And so I'm afraid I haven't found it yet. So I wanted to use it today, but I'm going to have to do some more searching. And this lather is increasing in volume as we expect it to, as we add more water. Now I forgot to look at my notes about this soap base, and so I don't know if this is one I have to run a little drier. I don't think so. I think it's one of those kind of high quality bases that can take tons of water and be really happy with it. So, but at 4 teaspoons, that I'm tempted to stop. So what we'll do is we'll look at the lather after a little bit of mixing here. Oh, look at that. That's probably in a good spot. Let's go with that. See how it collapsed? Okay, I'm going to rinse off my face. And we will also tilt the camera up. And I also squeezed out my goatee. It's long enough now where it's kind of retaining water, and it can mess up a lather if you have it mixed kind of perfectly. And you can see just immediately how this is kind of a creamy texture. It's got a nice sheen to it that's pretty to look at. Not all soaps have the sheen attribute going for them, and that's normal. It can be mixed perfectly and still not have that shininess to it. Sometimes there are a few soaps out there that they'll get that sheen when you have mixed them properly, and so it's a neat little indicator. Not properly, but you know, if your preferences kind of align with where the sheen develops, then that can be a really good indicator for you. Or you know, once you get the sheen, maybe you know to add just a little more water, and then you're there. You know, sometimes the sheen is a good attribute. So got a nice massage feel from these tips, very soft. Not as soft as like a badger, but no scritch at all. Nothing like that. And this still has a good many tips that still need to split. So it's going to get even better over time. And you can see how the lather increased as I added more water. So this soap base definitely can be taken farther than I was thinking in terms of hydration. I was kind of being conservative there. But let's add some more water. I like to keep the water from running out of the handle here, and so I add water and then I turn it over so the water kind of goes down to the tips of the brush. And look at what's happening here. All this lather is being generated. And so, as I mentioned, this is a terrific base that can hold a lot of wonderful water. I can get that wonderful lather. Oh, very slick. Man, that's good stuff. Creamy, slick. And we've given our base enough time to kind of absorb the lather, and that way it can protect our skin as we work. And I will definitely have to add a little bit more water. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll add half a teaspoon. So we're currently at 3.5. I don't think we went over the 4 mark. You know, I did a shave before, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, with a huge syringe that was 50 milliliters or something like that. And I kind of miss it because it let me never have to worry about trying to remember how many times I refilled my syringe, because the capacity was plenty. So we've got the Nacet here. I've got it on the maximum setting. And I'm definitely putting some focus on riding the cap as a precautionary kind of thing. I am getting some tugginess. And sometimes with this Nacet at this level, you're not going to get a lot of hair taken off on that first pass, and that's normal. But the second and third pass will keep it going and take care of what you need. Rinse. So in addition to me having to change my plan about the razor because I couldn't find the 84 Game Changer head, I also had to change my plans a little bit about the soap, because I mentioned that the next few weeks I'm going to be doing tests with fine accoutrements, Santal Absolute. I recorded the weight yesterday, so now we have a starting point, and I will, as I'm integrating that extra water I added to the lather during that first pass here, and so I am. But since I discovered the Seaforth soaps, I wanted to bring them to you and kind of interrupt the fine usage tests. All right. Oh yeah, this this is terrific. Very elastic. Look at how shiny it is, how it moves. It moves a little bit more fluid than it did when we looked at it earlier. So those are some things you can watch to try to figure out where you like your lather to be. You may not like yours as wet as I like mine. We don't need a thick layer on your face to provide a good soap. Can protect you with very thin, sometimes even translucent layers of shaving of lather. I think a lot of guys mix their lathers up a little too dry, so they're relying on that kind of quantity of suds to do the job of protecting them, and it's so much better when just the slickness of the soap, slickness of the lather does it for you instead. And now, no tugginess at all. That was taken care of on the first pass. So it's a comfortable shave from here on out. And I'll reiterate something I've kind of discovered about this blade being so old. I don't think it's gonna die by being very tuggy and cutting me, that sort of thing, because it's so smoothed out. I think where it's gonna fail is the end result of not being a close enough shave. It's my theory. Yes, I'm definitely enjoying the scent on this soap. If you don't like Old Spice, ooh, I got a bigger dose of the mandarin during the that is really coming out. Ah, wow, it was very spicy at first, but maybe my nose is getting used to some of those spicy notes, or maybe those top notes are kind of evaporating and kind of being used up. And so you're left with some of the heart notes or base notes. So if you like Old Spice, it's similar. It starts out similar. Then you'd like it to tweak to kind of a mandarin type note. This is definitely a soap to think about. Third pass now. Very comfortable. I do these short strokes so that I can adjust my angle. If I feel it needs improvement, I can do an immediate adjustment to the angle. If I'm listening to the sound of the hairs being cut, and I'm feeling for that cutting sensation in the blade edge, so that keeps me trying to find that perfect angle. And then eventually it becomes second nature. And there we go. That's 3 passes. Many times I do have to do another pass on my neck when the blade is at this stage of its life with so many uses on it. So I'm not going to be surprised at that. We do a full rinse and check things out. Bit of a shadow on my kind of neck area with a few hairs having a little bit of length to them. So let's do like I said. And yeah, I've got another, I might be able to squeeze out 3 passes there, so I can reduce the load time, to 20 seconds maybe, something like that. I do have, around use 225, I dropped the blade and it kind of got nicked, and not nicked, but bent. I straightened it out a little bit. I didn't want to break it or anything. And so I've been shaving with it ever since, with a slight bend in it. And so when I do this area that's extra tender, I like to try to not use the bend side because there's a little bit more bite with that side. Where did it go? Right here. You can see, yep, there you go. If you see the light's reflection, it's a small bend, but it definitely can grab your attention if you're shaving a tricky area, especially like against the grain and that kind of thing. Oh man, the slickness of this soap is terrific. He's got a good product on his hands right now. It feels luxurious. You can't see it, but you can feel the slickness. You can, and so I would feel comfortable if I had a newer blade that, you know, wasn't as kind of dull and smoothed out, I wouldn't have a problem kind of touching up a couple of small areas. And you can kind of feel like maybe it's that kokum butter or you know, the castor oil, or some of those ingredients are shea butter maybe, um, are helping with that nice moisturized feel here, even after the shave and after you can't see anything at all in terms of lather on my face, but you can feel it. It feels great. The scent is a little heavy during the shave, even for me, and so I think that those overloaders out there, at least based on my perspective, who are using 1.5 grams of soap per shave, where I use more of a half a gram of this type of soap, they are going to get this scent in an even higher concentration. They could be potentially overwhelmed, especially if they're used to the medium and mild scent strength that are out there with so many other soaps. And this could even potentially be a little too much for me. This is one of those that you have to maybe use a couple of times to see how you feel about the kind of the knowledge of the thick savoriness that's coming. I really think it's interesting how that mandarin really stands up and becomes a big part of what you notice about the scent toward the end of the shave. I think that's a neat variation, a nice layered effect. Now that we're at the end, let's look at that list of notes again. Yeah, the mandarin. Yeah. You can tell there are a couple of florals in here. Maybe just that carnation. Maybe the anise, maybe the hint. If you told me it's in there, I could say, yeah, I think I can smell that. The clove never came out and played, and the cinnamon never came out and played in a strong way that offends my nose, that makes me not really enjoy it. So that's good. Yeah. Oh man. At my first impression, I really like it, and the performance, of course, was just top notch. So we'll sometimes the heavy, spicy things like this, you like it first, but then when you think about it the next day and you say, I want to use that again, well, maybe it's a little too thick for me. You know, we'll see how that plays out with this soap for me. We'll try Heather tomorrow. I got that one as well, and it's much lighter, and so it'll be a neat contrast to see that. So, wonderful performance. I'm so glad to see the Seaforth name be brought back, and I think this is just a wonderful addition to the shaving community with the brand, and I really enjoy this scent. It's almost like an Old Spice, but reimagined a little bit, tweaked a little bit, maybe a little on the sweeter side. There's not maybe some musky tones to it like there was with the Old Spice. I think I don't know, I might like it better than Old Spice. We'll see. I think that's something that's close enough to where I would need to try it a few times. Now, I really enjoyed the Intrepid Man aftershave yesterday. I did manage to keep smelling it throughout the day, and the types of scents that remain on your face during after that aftershave are kind of low grade. They're smooth base notes, and so there's nothing punchy that stuck with me. And so sometimes I was tempted to think that the scent was gone, but then I would smell the palms that I applied it with, and I would, oh yeah, there it is. So I think it's very wearable. It's not gonna be all tweaky and just make you feel, oh, I'm wearing this strong thing. You're not going to get that. And so I think it's subtle, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad I have that. So let's try the balm today. I don't even know if it's going to be compatible with this spiced from Seaforth, but we'll see. We'll see if the spiced is still in such strength that it swallows this base up. But, Creed Santal original Santal, something like that, is the scent, the cologne this is based off of. Oh, I've still got some suds in my beard. Man, I splashed it all around, didn't I? compared to this. This smells kind of zesty and refreshing. It's really interesting to smell two things back to back, because sometimes this one scent will make you take notice of something very different in another scent that you didn't pick up on before. I'll have to do that after a shave. So I'm very happy with the closeness. We're still getting reasonable shaves. Just a little bit of tugginess on that first pass. Nothing, concerning. I do have a tender spot down here. It looks like I just took the razor too far, because this is not a shaveable area. This is not where I have beard hairs to any degree. And I also have rolls down here of chubbiness. And so that probably came into play there, probably just a user error on my part. So I believe I got a really good lather today. Maybe kind of perfection, at least by my standards. And so it looks like a 30-second load and 3.5 teaspoons of water. I don't think I refilled this more than that. So, and then, yeah, like I said before, I bet I could get 3 passes, at least 2 of lather out of this. So this is my most used boar brush by a few shaves. I think we're in the 40s with it, and it still has a ways to go in terms of tips softening. Now this is what it looks like right after a good rinsing and a shake. Let's see what it looks like after a towel stropping. And here we go. As you can see, it looks a little bit more normal. And boar brushes do absorb water, and so right now it doesn't feel like a broom at all, but it will do so after a good drying out, after these tips have a chance to lose all that water, and the shafts actually as well will lose the water. So splay will continue to increase until we have a lot of density over here on the sides with this type of brush. And big bloom is what Semogue Owners Clubs are known for. Also, this scent of spiced could be, since it's got some kind of different levels, you can expect sometimes to see a different smell, to recognize and perceive different parts of the scent as you use it the next time and the next time, because your nose gets used to some things, your mind gets used to some things, and then different pieces of it can come out as you use it a few times. So that's something to note, as you sometimes may get one that maybe you don't like, maybe you do. Try it a few more times, unless you got a huge collection, you don't want to waste the time, and see if you like it better. I'm not sure. I think I like the shave from the Fatip Open Comb a little better than the Fat Boy here. I could also back down the aggression a little bit, maybe turn it down to a 7 next time and try it. But it is an old blade, so sometimes you have to change things up and play with things back and forth to try to find just the right setup. If you're going for me, pure scientific curiosity, I'm never going to take another Nacet blade this far again. I'm just curious how many shaves I can get from it. And that does it. I sure hope that this has been something that you've learned from and gotten something from. And I sure did. I'm really proud to, even if I didn't like this scent very much, when a soap maker works hard and makes such a great soap base, he seems to be a stand-up guy online as well. I am proud to support their business, their small business. Even if I don't like this, I can just sell it on the secondary market or give it away or something like that. But I think I'm going to be keeping this guy around, is my guess. I'll use him definitely a few more times in the near future here, and in between uses of the fine accoutrements soap that I'm going to work on usage tests with. The Intrepid Man definitely went nicely, didn't clash or tromp on this scent at all. Maybe added a little touch of zestiness to it. Really happy with that mix as well. I think it's a nice transition and journey. And in a sense, it's not really a journey, because I think the Seaforth Spiced is still maybe just as much as a part of the scent right now as the Intrepid Man. And so it's more like, instead of a transition, it's more like an addition to what's already there. So we're adding a little bit more complexity to the scent, because the Seaforth definitely doesn't have too much in terms of that high, zesty type of a scent to it. And then once those top notes of that type of scent goes away, that's from the Intrepid Man, I can only think that the lower notes of sandalwood and those sorts of things will only help and play very nicely with any of the Seaforth soap that might be left. So big win today. Great shave. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and we'll see you next time.